Hi everybody, how you doing? As Charles said, yes, we're doing some poetry events with the library this year. There's some flyers back there on the table if you'd like to check them out, and it tells everything about the upcoming events for the summer and also for the 150th birthday celebration of Eugene. I'd like to welcome my friends and fellow writers to my first formal reading in Eugene, Oregon. I'm a little nervous. Eugene is just full of culture, and I'm very excited right now about so many things going on. But first of all, I'd like to thank our host, Charles Thielman, for inviting me here tonight. Thank you, Charles. To read in the company of these two wonderful poets, Casey Bush and Dan Raphael. Really enjoyed you guys. I would like to thank Michelle Graff for designing the wonderful announcement flyer for this month's reading. And I would also like to thank Scott Landfield and Tsunami Books for the wonderful support they give to poetry and literature in Eugene by staging so many great literary events like this one every month. Well, I come to this poetry game sort of late in life. I've been writing poetry most of my life, but only in retirement have I been able to really pursue it. As Charles said, I'm retired from 27 years in stage production. My wife and I retired here to Eugene about 5 years ago. And I'm really having a great time writing, publishing, and performing my poetry here. So I also want to thank my wonderful wife, Paulette, for her continued support of this new journey in my life. And I'd like to thank all of you for coming out and hear me read tonight. As many of you may know, April is National Poetry Month. So I think it's serendipity that I've been invited to do my first formal reading of my work in National Poetry Month. And in that spirit, I'll begin. I'm a lyrical poet, a performance poet. I don't have a lot of education in poetry and writing. My education is mostly from the streets of the 60s, and my poetry comes from my dreams, my inspirations, and my heart. The first two poems I'll be reading are from my brand new chapbook, Wildweed. And this one is titled, Death of the Poet, in reply to Response and Reconciliation by Octavio Paz. I am nobody. I am little, small, nothing. Have you read the final poem of Paz? I am mute, and my meaningless meanings minute. My emotional ramblings, musings, but superficial ravings. I want to have meaning in a meaningless world that is mean, not fair. But I have not the education necessary to truly discern what is not meaningless, nor to describe what is meaningful. This next poem I would like to dedicate to Jennifer Martin of the Eugene Ballet Company. Jennifer has been with the Eugene Ballet for 18 years, and she is retiring after her performance tomorrow. So I'd like to dedicate this poem to her. It's also from my new book. The poem is titled Poezija, the Ballerina. And Poezija is the Russian word for poetry. There's an interesting story behind this poem. As I said, I'm retired from 27 years of stage production, so I was working as the foreman on a backstage rigging crew when I wrote part 2 of this poem. It was written literally on a steel beam 80 feet in the air while rigging a new fly rail system at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles, California in the summer of 1990. We were on a deadline to get the fly rail system up and working for the new season of the Bolshoi Ballet, which was arriving at the Shrine Auditorium in 3 weeks. While watching union welders create new structural support beams for the system, and while waiting for parts to be hoisted from the stage 80 feet below, I found the time and inspiration to write a poem. As I had no pen and paper, only the Sharpie in my tool belt, I used it to write on one of the new steel beams, which I just happened to be sitting on. The original writing still exists on that beam itself, high over the backstage grid of the theater. And then part 3 of this poem was written backstage 3 weeks later for Nina Ananiashvili, the new prima-ballerina for the Bolshoi Ballet. in what turned out to be the final Bolshoi tour in the United States before the USSR split apart in 1991. This part of the poem was written backstage while I was working on the ballet, as I watched Nina dance in her premiere performance for the season. I later presented this poem to her, and she in return presented me with an autographed Bolshoi cap with the inscription, "To Stephen, the best poet in America." And finally, part one of this poem was actually written last. When I was structuring the poem parts into one piece, it became evident to me that the poem represented the retiring of one prima ballerina and the new shooting star of another. I wrote the first part as an homage to the Bolshoi senior prima ballerina who was about to retire, and it seemed to me like it was serendipity that the parts fit so well into one poem. Now, near the end of the poem, you will hear the phrase, "No feather, no down." This is the Russian way of saying, break a leg. And so here is Poezija, the ballerina. An aged tree struggles to grow free from itself. Its outer branches turn inward, twisting, turning, pushing in and up, then outward again, as it struggles through life, throughout the years. A countless calendar, for all intents and purposes, an ode to our inhumanity to nature, if it could speak. The prima ballerina retires. Structured steel, struggling to be free of itself. Countless cables of iron twisting across, downward, around each other, then upward again. Giant steel beams pinnacle upwards as if struggling for life. A welded calendar, dedication of humanity to science and entertainment is what it seeks. The prima ballerina is born. Poezija, you are the ballerina. The song of your dance takes wings in my heart. It soars. It flies inside me, but you are the swan. Poezija, like a flowing verse is your rhythm. Your movements melt together like snowflakes in the sunshine. Twirl me into a trance. Take all of me into your dance. No feather, no down. Your passion is Poezija. You are the ballerina. Besides being National Poetry Month, April is also Alcohol Awareness Month. So it is appropriate that I will be reading from my second book, S.O.S, Songs of Sobriety, A Personal Journey of Recovery. I am a recovering alcoholic and drug addict, and I'm celebrating 25 years of sobriety this year. Thank you. My wife recently bought me my favorite bottle of non-alcoholic wine, and this bracelet was attached to it. It says, designated driver. That's me, a permanent designated driver. Anyway, my book is about my first 10 years in recovery. And in the recovery process, there are different stages that you go through. Three very important ones are desperation, hope, and resolution. I would like to read some poetry from each of these stages. The first poem is about the desperation stage, and it is titled Chair Dreams. Picture a hopeless drug addict, isolated in his loneliness, sitting in a chair, dreaming about a world he cannot participate in, wishing he could find a way out, crying out in his lonely desperation. Sitting in my chair, staring out my window, dreaming about all the things I'm gonna do and see and be. You're gonna love me, and it's going to be the best love ever, if I can just get out of this chair and get it together. Chair dreams, take me here and there. Chair dreams take me everywhere. Chair dreams seem so crystal clear for a moment, but then they're gone again. It's just another chair dream. I know I was going to have a hit summer in a house in the country, sit in a rocker on my front porch with endless inspiration. I know I was going to paint my masterpiece and write a prize-winning novel. And I remember it sometimes when I'm high enough. But I just can't seem to get out of this chair. Can't seem to get motivated to go anywhere. And my dream slips away to the back of my mind till another day when the right combination finds my chair dreams. Chair dreams take me here and there. Chair dreams take me everywhere. Chair dreams seem so crystal clear for a moment, but then they're gone again. It's just another chair dream. You're gonna love me, and it's going to be the best love ever if I can just get out of this chair and get it together. Chair dreams take me here and there. Chair dreams take me everywhere. Chair dreams take me out of here. Chair dreams seem so crystal clear for a moment, but then I'm gone again. It's just another chair dream. I would like to thank Dano at danosongs.com for the music on that one. This next one is about hope, and it is called Modern Miracles. Modern miracles walk through meeting halls, grateful to be alive. Sparkling eyes sent forth to each other for help and comfort in times of trouble. Modern miracles brought together by a common problem, bonded by a common belief. Modern miracles bringing hope through faith and spirit. Society's children shaken and stirred, once bereaved, now reprieved, live and breathe. Modern miracles. And these next two are about resolution. This one is titled, You and I. It is you who gives me gifts and lays opportunities in front of me. It is I who must use these gifts and take action when the opportunities arise. It is you who molds my destiny and gives me a reason to be here. It is I who must have the courage to choose the paths on this journey. It is you who is the creator of all there is to be pondered and decided. It is I who must ponder and make decisions on causes to believe in and work for. It is you who gives me the free will to choose. It is I who must make responsible choices. The New Frontier. Here I sit in my wayward cubicle, larger than sun, life just begun. And I'm grateful for the chance to be here, on the verge of a new frontier. To go forth by choice, not feel stuck behind walls. The present, the future, my destiny calls. And I'm listening finally, isn't it strange? Intuition brings trust for the change. While the faith that I've gathered in just a short time gives me strength as I watch my whole life start to rhyme. I'm excited by the prospect of new frontiers after so many wasted and lonely years. But they weren't really wasted. I have no regrets. What one wants, one usually gets. And it took all of that to get me right here. All I can say is, I know this quite clear. After so many wasted and lonely years, I'm heading into new frontiers. I'm ever so grateful for the chance that is here as I'm heading into the new frontier. And to close out my reading tonight, I'd like to perform 3 poems. The first 2 are from my first book, Wordsongs. This one is called Oh Big Sky. big sky, are you watching over me? Shall I say what I feel is real today? Will they listen to me now? Will it matter anyhow? What shall I do for my soul? Do you think you are a master? Do you practice what you preach? So you think your way is faster? Tell me, what is it you teach? Do you show us how to love each other with more feeling every day? Are you helping anyone with more feeling, as you say? Oh, inspiration, are you watching over me? Shall I say what I feel is real today? Will they listen to me now? Will it matter anyhow? What shall I do for my soul? If you want to start somewhere, then start by being true. 'Cause if you ain't true, then we'll find somebody new. Now maybe you can help us all with what it is you preach. But please don't say you know it all. There's always more to teach. Oh, big sky, are you watching over me? Shall I say what I feel is real today? Will they listen to me now? Will it matter anyhow? What shall I do for my soul? I would like to thank my good friend Brian Burton for the wonderful guitar parts on that one, and my wife Paulette for the tambourine. This next one is also from my first book, Wordsongs, and it was actually the first poem I wrote for my first son, Tony, and it is called Little Toy Gun. I gave you my name, and you gave me a son. He's starting to walk. I can't wait till he'll run. We'll ride him on ponies. He'll have lots of fun. But don't ever give him a little toy gun. He'll go around shooting you, me, and a friend. But it won't be a toy gun he'll use in the end. He'll find him a real one in the armed forces. I don't want my son taking mass murder courses. So buy him creative things, not for impression. Let him develop his own self-expression. Expression is freedom, but don't get me wrong. I may not be free yet, but I'm getting strong. I have understanding of my own hang-ups. I need understanding so I can be free. And then when our son needs someone to confide in, he always can come to you, babe, or to me. Yes, I gave you my name, and you gave me a son. He's starting to walk. I can't wait till he'll run. We'll ride him on ponies. He'll have lots of fun. But don't ever give him a a little toy gun. Thank you. And for my final piece tonight, this one has lately become my signature performance piece around town, and it's also the title of my brand new, or the title poem of my brand new chapbook, Wildweed. My stuff is rough. It's bare bones. I hate to answer telephones. I want to look you in the eyes when we speak. But it ain't no use in this fast-paced world to ride a horse or court a girl. If you take your time to get there, she's just moved on. And what becomes of the alley cat on the night of the hard-driving rain, when the lightning speaks loud and everyone crowds in the shelter of warm window panes? I live my life in a pot-bellied stove on an oak tree with ages to tell. I'm the earthquake commander, the green salamander, a salesman with nothing to sell. But did you see me on the night of the new, when everything changed in an instant? The air was so clean and the grass was so green that a new age did not seem so distant. In the quiet, an angel calls, awakened by the engine stalls of the inner city, pondering its sleep. The dream is a draftsman, a hill-dwelling craftsman, a step in a puddle on the road to forever, and life is a boat in a great castle moat. We all circle yet must row together. Now is then, and yesterday's tomorrow. But how can we live it like we mean it, when we're running so fast that the race cannot last, and the space in between lies unseen? Or is that to lay in a meadow and ponder the meaning of the wild blue yonder, the stars at night or a daffodil? The momentum is great as it rolls down the hill of imagination gone to seed. I'm a wildweed. Why do I feel so safe in the rain and long to sit behind waterfalls? I gaze at blue crystal, I tell tattered tales, and listen when eternity calls. Maybe this just goes on and on, or maybe the hunger can't fathom the dawn. It's the spark in the dark behind your eyes when you sleep just a moment, and then it is gone and you weep. Sheltering skies pour forth from your eyes and germinate the seed of my fast-growing need. I'm a wildweed. Yes, I'm a wildweed. Thank you very much.